I didn't tell you that earlier.
They decorated it all nice
I
and.
was like, why did you say that?
You go in and did the graveyard, you go in and deliver the.
Good evening, everyone. The call to order, Public Safety Committee, for October the 16th, 2025. First item on the agenda is the minutes from September the 18th, Public Safety Meeting.
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussions? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 2 is ordinance to rezone the property address as 6714 and 6688 Dorchester Road. TMS number 406-0000-004. This is from B2 General Business to R1 Multi-Residence in District 1.
It's to R2, right? Not R1?
R2.
R2. Yes.
Move to approve.
Got a motion for approval in a second. Any questions? I do have a speaker, but
No, go ahead.
we'll go with speaker. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Lizzie Tisdale.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Libby Smalls Tisdale, and I proudly represent the Forest Hills 1 community in District 1. And I do also provide information and communicate with other communities that surround us, which is Forest Hills 2, Summerfield, and Brookfield. As president of the Forest Hills 1, I want to firmly express our opposition to the proposed rezoning of 6714 and 6688 Dorchester Road from general business to multifamily. One reason is because we don't have representation on city council. Each one of you sit here, you represent your district. We don't have anyone there to speak for us. We don't have anyone here at the table. We know the rezoning is illogical. It's not prudent right now. Dorchester Road is already congested. We all know about Dorchester Road. The impact on the public and the impact on the public transportation, that will be greatly magnified. The sustainability of the emergency evacuation route, how will that impact that? Traffic study or whatever the rezoning process is, it takes place after the rezoning. It just seems like you're putting the cart before the horse. You know, the horse pulled the cart, it's like the cart is before the horse. How will that impact our taxes as homeowners, business renters? How is that going to impact that? And Dorchester Road has a lot of apartments right now. We'll start with Waverly Place, it sits right on the road. Pepper Hill sits right on the road. Clear Springs sits on the road. It's a new apartment complex. It's building. So we don't know how it's going to impact Dorchester Road, the commute for our citizens. Then we have Crescent Point that sits at the corner of Dorchester and, let's see, Cross County. Those renters have problems getting out on Dorchester Road. They only have one way in, one way out, looking for an accident to happen. Also, you have the Air Base, which is not an apartment complex, we all know, but it sits right in between two schools, two elementary schools, Huntley Park and Lambs Elementary. And that would be the worst place to put an apartment complex. You have Donnery Village Apartments, all nestled into that nook. That's traffic already. And then you have KRC Green Apartments right there also. Affordable housing may be a justification for the rezoning. But what are the developers' term for affordable housing? You know, their term of affordable may be different from ours. We feel that building more apartments on Dorchester Road will greatly magnify the existing problems in our communities, and we can't afford to overlook, these circumstances. So I'm coming before you and pleading that we want responsible growth. Dorchester Road is already congested. We have nobody at the table to help us out, nobody to speak for us, no advocate for us. Please consider these concerns that we have. Thank you.
Oh, no, I was asking Kenny, this was the one that we talked about.
Okay.
Ms. Tisdale, has the developer come out and spoke to the neighborhoods? They have not?
Yes, sir.
So it's zone B2, right?
Yes.
B2 allows R2 by right? No?
An overlay.
It's in an overlay district? Okay.
It would be under that, but with the overlay district, that's what,
Okay. All right, sorry, I didn't read the synopsis.
that's the kicker.
One thing
Yes, sir.
to note is we do have that Dorchester project. I think it's gonna be in the first quarter of 2028 when they do the widening project for Dorchester, that first build. So I just wanna throw that out there as consideration to add this into it.
Yes, sir.
So most of my district's on Dorchester Road, and I travel Dorchester Road every day, so I understand exactly what you're talking about. I have talked to, the people that are trying to get this changed. And, maybe Mr. Salmonson can explain some of the deed restrictions and stuff that he's talking about putting on there, which would limit, when you say apartments, first thing you think of is, okay, they could put 300 apartments there. But maybe with the chair's approval, maybe Mr. Salmonson can kind of give some history on what they're planning on doing.
Any more from council? And your name is?
My name's Charlie Salmonson, and I'm the one, I guess, developer of this project. And I understand your concerns, cause I have,
Could you
stand up?
Yes.
Yeah, when I started this, I spoke to a few council members and they had the same concern you did about multifamily. So I pivoted and went back and said, well, I'm gonna do townhouses. So instead of 250, 300 apartments, it's gonna be 75, 85 townhomes, which in that area, and back to the affordable living, I don't wanna call it affordable living, but its price point is where it's under the median price point of North Charleston, excuse me. So 250, 300, so it's more affordable. And with Boeing having 2,000-3,000 new jobs within a mile away, that's probably the target of those people, those employees looking to be close by, 1 mile from work. So it's gonna be a townhouse community, not apartments.
I got one for you, sir.
Yes.
And your name is?
Charlie Salmonson.
Salmonson. The question I have is this a deadline or a rush? I know you wanna get it done.
No.
The reason why I ask that is, would you consider reaching out or pulling it and reaching out to the community. When do your community meet?
I didn't know there was any community there, I mean.
Yes. That's why I like to bridge that gap between the community and council and get that dialogue going so they can ask that question to you. So the greater part of their community can know what's going on. And because, you've already been approved by staff and also committee. But I want the residents to have some idea of what's going on. And you are in Forest Hills, right?
Yes, sir.
And your community meets?
We meet, third Tuesday of each month.
Okay. Somehow could we work that out?
When, I'm sorry, when?
We can get you some information on that.
Third Tuesday of every month, so next week, Tuesday? They meet next Tuesday.
21st.
In Forest Hills. I don't see why we can't be there. I mean, they answer whatever questions they got, concerns.
Could we meet afterwards?
After this, sure.
I think he's gonna carry it over.
That's-
Can I make a recommendation that you give with our ombudsman so that he could help you connect with those neighboring communities as well? Because there's
Parcels too.
Brookdale, Forest Hill, so if you can connect with our ombudsman, he can connect you to the right community leaders in that area and then, probably get everybody together at one time.
Okay.
And then, disperse from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be more efficient.
I 100% agree.
And then just carry it over to the next committee? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, and then we bring it right back to us and then move it forward from there, if that's okay with you.
Whatever.
Yes.
And also,
Hold on now. Thank you. Yes. Good, yes, sir.
No, just whatever, whatever you think's the best way to proceed with this is how I want to do it.
Yeah, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
So my question is, cause you said you're cutting it down from 250 homes to 85
It's
townhomes
apartments.
or apartments.
Yeah, well, that's
So,
what-
are there any contractual, anything holding you to that, or that's just a decision or just verbal confirmation
it's-
of the plan? So my question is that like just verbal confirmation, or is that something that you have that's on paper saying that you're not gonna go forward with the 250 apartments versus the
Yeah, so we're
townhouses?
gonna
Is that
kinda
verbal?
we're gonna
or is
do
that
it,
on
no,
paper?
we're gonna do deed restricted.
Okay.
That way, we don't flip it to an apartment builder and next thing you know, it's 300 apartments there. And her point is valid.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Only thing I would say is that, Charlie, that is gonna be, you're trying to build it right by the new, Lambs.
Yeah.
Honey Park is closing down.
Yes.
Honey Park goes down, that means that, the military actually told me basically that they're gonna push the gates back eventually.
Yep,
That's gonna create 3 lanes on both sides.
that's correct.
With a dedicated lane, cause right now I have a police officer that sits in the middle of that road and stops cars so that buses can get to Holly Park.
Right.
Once you remove that, then it's gonna be an even flow of traffic when you push the gates back and widen Dorchester
They
Road.
should,
And Dorchester County is working on their part as well.
right.
So your property basically is coming down, if you wanna say south, if you wanna call it south,
Yeah, mine be south.
which is that shooting range thing, right?
Right, it's the
Okay,
airsoft park.
right there by where Lambs
Don't you
ends
post
at,
gas
and
station,
T-Post back there.
right?
Between that and the
It's got a
Catholic
natural
church.
buffer
Okay,
too.
Where the Catholic church is.
Yeah,
it's
right
between
back
that
there.
and the
It's
school.
got the school on one side, it's got the power lines in the rear, it's got a self-storage place to the right, and it's 500 foot off the road, so it's not frontage like you see the other apartments or complexes.
Right.
So it's behind El Cheapos where you'll never see them.
And Donneray Village is on the other side.
Right across the street, which fronts
Gotcha.
Dorchester Road.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is that good? Yeah, absolutely.
Need to make a motion.
And it
Yeah,
needs to pull his
Any other
motion.
questions?
someone else had someone?
Brandon needs to recall his
Yes,
motion, so I can recall my second.
yes, I thought you were telling me somebody else needed to.
I'll recall my, throw my motion.
Thank you, sir.
I'll withdraw the second.
You're doing all right, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for moving toward it, Ms. Tisdale, thank you. Yes, we're putting you to work.
MVP.
I'm gonna move forward to item number 3. And it's ordinance rezoning the property address as 4001 O'Hare. TMS number 47016000063 and unaddressed property bearing TMS number 47016000103 from R1 single family residence to R2 multifamily residence, District 10.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions?
Is this over there off of O'Hare?
Yes.
Or like the the townhouse, 3-floor townhouses?
Yeah, it's back on, let's say if I'm leaving McMillan, it's off to the right before you get to that's creek there. I think you got Humvee Waters before you get to Humvee Waters. Alright, it's motion and second. Any other more questions from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Pause.
Got one. Number 4, an ordinance rezoning the property address as 5632 North Red Avenue. TMS number 47016000036 from B1 Limited Business to B2 General Business, Council District 10.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 5, an ordinance rezoning a portion of property address as 4952 and 4994 Rivers Avenue, TMS number 47216000214, and from B2 General Business to R1 Single Family Residence. It's Council District 6.
Also parcel 216.
Yes. Motion from council and safety to deny. Just need a motion from District 6, please.
Someone else can lead them.
I'll move to deny.
Second. Aye, need a second? Second. Motion, any questions? Questions? All in favor?
You had a speaker.
I do have a speaker. Cindy Thompson, thank you.
No, we're gonna hold off, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Motion for denial. That motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's the last and final. Any other thing coming back to public safety? Being none, any adjourned.
Thank you, that was one of the team. Thank you. I like this one.
Alright, we'll go ahead and call the finance committee meeting for October the 16th, 2025 to order. The first item on the agenda is the minutes from the September 18th, 2025 finance meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Item number 2, an ordinance authorizing the approval of short-term parking lease with the Boeing Company for a minimum of $36,000 per month.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 3, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a termination of reversion of property in the limited warranty deed for the parcel of land known as the former Shakora Elementary School, Charleston County, TMS 46912001115.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Can staff and the mayor clarify specifically how the project vision was determined to be met?
Have-
Yeah, I can, it's been a long project for us. Adam McConnell, 2500 City Hall Lane, that's where I live. It's been a long project, the Chicora Elementary School. The original vision for that school project would be early childhood education, some nonprofit incubator space, and some arts educational spaces component to it. There was a major fire there. The fire destroyed the theater, which was gonna be part of our arts program. After years of sort of moving through various legal battles with insurance companies to make sure that the damage was paid for, a new concept was emerged for the property, which was the partnership with Metanoia and Crystal Ray, which is a high school. And so a couple of years ago, we brought, maybe it was about 18 months ago or two years ago, I'm not sure. There was a clause in the original purchase and sale agreement that required us to meet the project vision. And at that time, the project vision was broad, but that the school would be reused for educational purposes. This body, prior to all the members being here, had a resolution that said basically you've met the project vision because you're still gonna implement the educational components of that program here. So that was 2 years ago now or something like that. And so at this point, they're getting very close to closing on the financing. The property's already been transferred to Metanoia. They've owned it for a number of years. They've done a tremendous amount of stabilization of the property and are getting very close to construction. In order to close the construction loan, we need to remove the reverter on the contract, because the reverter basically says if something happens, the city's gonna take it back. Well, the people that are giving them $20 million to initiate this project have concerns with that. The city is not going to take that project back, and we have good faith and evidence that it's gonna move forward, because we've seen the funding stack that Bill's provided. And so all we're trying to do is remove that barrier so that it'll open up the financing, which will close in a few weeks, from what I understand. Is that correct, Bill? So if we can remove that reverter, understand that they've met what they intended to do with the school, we'll unlock $25 million project in the neighborhood.
I appreciate that explanation, but I have another question, a follow-up question with that. What measure or outcomes demonstrate the redevelopment has benefited lower income residents as intended?
Well, the partnership with Crystal Ray is specifically designed their school program, and they came in about a year ago and gave a presentation here. They are specifically designed to target low-income students as their population in their school. And as a partnership between Crystal Ray, they have an innovative educational strategy, and I'm gonna get some details wrong because I'm not in their program. But they they basically get a private school education. It's funded by donors, foundations, and then partners in the business industry, MUSC, Boeing, and some of the larger employers. They actually help pay the tuition for the students who qualify for this. And so the entire project is directly benefiting lower income students and certainly a neighborhood that could use an infusion of investment for sure.
We do have some representatives from Metanoia, they could expound on
Crystal
the.
Ray.
Yeah, I would defer, because you're asking a student population question, to Shanita
Okay.
Banish, who is the president of Crystal Ray School. So Shanita, if you can talk about how students go to Crystal Ray.
That might help.
Thank you. Yes.
And one thing before you begin,
Yes, ma'am.
AJ,
Yes, sir.
you're the community president of Shakor, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think if anybody wants to direct some questions, he's Shakor's civic club president, but go ahead, miss. He lives there.
Please state your name for the record.
Okay, my name is Shanita, Shenita, last name Vanish, V as in victory, Anish. And I am the president and CEO of Crystal Ray Charleston High School, and I'm glad to be here. I am also, I'm actually a resident of Berkeley County. I am a graduate of Berkeley High School, don't hold it against me. And I'm glad to be here. I joined Crystal Ray in March of this year, and I am excited to bring the 42nd Crystal Ray School to the Charleston area and to South Carolina. Specifically, like he said, we are a high school that will provide college prep education to young people who are 200% below the poverty line. And so my experience is with providing social service programs to low-income communities. And I came back specifically to provide youth in our area because we will be serving the Tri-County area, Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester, focus on the community surrounding Old Shakora Elementary School. But I came back to lead this organization because of the challenges I had being in high school, not being able to get jobs, seeing all the jobs coming to the area and seeing certain communities being left out. So we are unequivocally committed to making sure that the community, surrounding community, has the resources that they need in order for the students to thrive. But what's equally as important is the fact that not only will we provide the school, but we will be a community partner. So organizations, nonprofit, community partners who need a space will be able to come into our space and utilize our space. We are rebuilding the theater, and that area, not only will we rebuild it and it's available for the community, but we will also showcase the history of the community in that space as well, okay? In addition, it's not just a college prep high school, but we have relationships with 25 businesses who will be hiring our students. So you're looking at the city of North Charleston, Charleston, Roper St. Francis, Trident, a whole bunch of other organizations, and we're continuing to work with these organizations because our students will go to school 4 days a week and then work a corporate job 1 day a week, and that job will help pay for the cost of them to go to school. I am also a fundraiser. Fundraising is what we do, and you're correct. Right now, we have a little over $11 million that was raised majority from our board members, their friends and family. So removing this clause is something that we need to stack on top of the money that Metanoia is committing to the project and the numerous tax credits that are on top of it. I know we always have to talk about a sustainability plan just in case, this doesn't work. But I didn't leave my job of over 15 years to come to a project to see it not work. So I'm committed to it, and not only will we bring it, we'll continue to make sure it flourishes.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Conley.
ma'am.
Appreciate it.
And thank you. Christ the King, that's what Crystal Ray means. We've got to support it. Now, another thing too, the AMI is gonna be strictly kind of based on AMI, right? You come in there. So in other words, if you have, your poverty level is beyond the AMI, let's say you're making 70,000 a year, beyond that, you won't qualify to come to Crystal Ray.
That's correct. What the problem that I'm hoping to create is that the students that we serve, once we open our doors, that in 20 years, their children will not be able to go to our school because we have helped increase their socioeconomic standing.
That's what I'm talking about. And you're talking about the area that we talk about for decades. For decades of having issues.
Yeah.
For decades of lifting things up. People down there they make between $36,000 and $31,000 a year. And we expect them to go to school and learn.
Right.
We got to do these things and put it right where it needs to be.
All right.
And I appreciate it because I've studied Christ the King.
Mm-hmm.
And I know exactly what you guys are about. But we as a body have to support this. Because we have a lot of people coming to us about things.
Mm-hmm.
But your model, with the money you raised,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole thing that's placed together and work with the city,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be there to help you get through it.
Yes, I
And
pray so.
AG, he's the Shakora Cherokee president. And if anybody knows about Shakora Cherokee, you know about it. Thank
Well,
you.
it's their 42nd school.
Oh, I know.
So it's not the first one, so obviously the model works, or it wouldn't, you wouldn't have that many, so.
And I appreciate the explanation because we all don't know. And I
Okay.
didn't know, so I do appreciate you explaining it the way that you did.
Right, and I know we haven't met.
I met Mr. Griggs.
Okay, so Mr. Griggs, matter of fact, he's from Moss Corner too. It just so happens that way, but he used to work with.
You don't get to come to the big
No,
city.
I'm just telling you, with Charleston County School District, but well, yeah, like I said, he worked with Charleston County School District. He just started September 2nd, and quite honestly, y'all, there's only 3 employees, and one is a fundraiser along with me. But we're trying to get out to make sure everybody knows who we are, okay?
Thank you, ma'am. And any other questions from council? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to hear from the president of Shakur,
Say hello to
AJ Davis.
just to get how he feels about the project.
Sure. Well, good evening, everyone. AJ Davis, Shakur Cherokee Neighborhood President, and as Mayor Burgess has said, our community has suffered from a lot of things over the years. This is year 18 for me being down there. And so Reverend Stanfield and I talked about this project a couple years ago, I can't remember. And then I did my research on it. And from our standpoint, we view it as another asset coming into an area that has been hard hit. I'm also an employee of Charleston County School District. I'm working in high school. So I can say that, you know, a program such as this is something that I feel that our student population, especially those that don't necessarily fit traditional models, can benefit from. And especially with the way our economy is sitting, we need to have something that gives our kids more than just the idea of getting a diploma, but something that could potentially give them hope that they can pursue jobs and opportunities that they may not think about at this time. So we're behind.
And the rest of the neighborhood feels the same way?
Yes, yes. We are actually scheduled meetings with Mr. Griggs, the other person, so that will probably take place later on this month. We have a little homecoming festival that we're gonna be going to, so we'll be making sure that he blankets our community and the communities next to us.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Before you go to the vote, it was about, just to give you counsel, it was about a year ago. It took quite a bit of folks from the communities, other communities, to Atlanta, to see the Crystal Ray in Atlanta. And you know, the communities really was impressed with what's there, and they really would love that to happen here. That was one of the driving forces that they went and saw what it was there, and you know, the classes and the kids that was there. So I think the surrounding community is for it also.
Anybody else? All right, we have a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 4, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a quitclaim deed in any and all documents necessary and appropriate to transfer .950 acres of surplus property to Eaton Aerospace for the appraised value of $28,000 to allow expansion of existing facilities located in the city of North Charleston.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You've been recognized, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I was looking at an appraisal and looking at what they're doing, did on that appraisal and some of the comparable properties that are appraised at that 0.9 acres. It wasn't in Charleston County. It was somewhere in Timbuktu. So I have issues with that. 0.9 acres, $28,000.
What was the appraisal based on what area?
Wait now, you gotta wait your turn.
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry.
No, you said Timbuktu, 'cause, you know, that's where my family lives.
Yeah, that's a different place, yeah. Yeah,
we get
yes,
somebody
yes, please,
who's-
yeah.
Talk about the phrases.
Mr. Brown, it was a certified appraisal which we asked to receive on behalf of the property. Speaking a little bit about the property itself, it has been deemed surplus property by the city of North Charleston. And just to contextualize why we are looking to deed this property over to the company, they're looking to expand significantly on the footprint, and I would consider this North Charleston's small effort towards the expansion project. So the county's giving $125,000 to the company for infrastructure work. The state's giving $125,000 for infrastructure work as well. with an additional $1 million in job tax credits on top of that, so.
So what we're given, we're given.
We're getting a little bit of money.
$28,000.
We're getting a little bit of money. And it'll enable 50 jobs and about between 40 and $50 million worth of capital investment.
I just had trouble with the
But
comparison
no, I can
that they did.
understand that.
with property.
I'm sure they, not being an appraiser myself, I'm sure they looked at undeveloped wooded property with wetlands.
Also question, can that pricing point be challenged?
I think this would defer the project and we'd be telling 50 people they're gonna have to wait for new jobs.
They gotta wait anyway till those get done.
So,
Either way, no, I mean, that's what I was wondering, just, cause based on what he was saying, it makes sense, cause I asked you the same question, cause our initial conversation was.
if we were to do that, we would have to spend more money and get our own appraiser.
The property itself is actually not a parcel, it's an unopened right of way. So the road, it's like, would be the extension of the road, but it was never built because it's wetlands. So it's essentially an unbuildable property, so that's why the valuation was so low. Cause you actually, without getting a wetlands fill permit and so forth, the property wouldn't have any value. So that's why the appraisal came in at that valuation, Councilman Brown, just for your information.
I'm gonna vote in favor, I just challenge you what was there.
And I'm just trying to clarify why that, I had the same response when I saw an acre of land for $28,000.
Yes.
I would buy that, certainly, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
if you find out that you can't build on anything on it, that decreases the valuation quite considerably, so that's why.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, cause I wasn't finished talking. But, so when it comes to the 0.95 acres, right, so he said it's $28,000. The numbers that you gave me were differing from the numbers that you said, cause you said the county and the city, the county and the state were donating a different amount. And it was more in the millions versus the 100,000s. I'm just trying to understand where,
There's job tax credits valued at over $1 million that the state will, that the company can recoup for hiring those 50 jobs.
okay.
Any other?
So
Yes,
just for
ma'am.
clarification, is it my turn? Can I
Yes,
go?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You've been recognized as well. Yes, ma'am.
Since the property is actually in unopened right of way and mostly, did I hear you say mostly wetlands?
Yes.
Was
Okay.
one,
Does that mean that the city would bear the cost if we were to move forward with development or infrastructure there?
We would not.
Okay.
was there a study done for the wetlands?
They will be required to go through wetland permitting, through the Army Corps of Engineers and state.
So they can't do that until they have the property that we're, okay.
Any other questions? All right, we have a motion, second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed. I can change it? Yeah, 'cause I changed it. You're
You
opposed.
good? No?
I changed it.
You're a yes?
Opposed, no.
No, you're still opposed.
I'm a no.
He's a no. You got that corner.
I'ma just put it on the books.
Item number 5, an agreement for professional planning services between the Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester Council of Governments and the City of North Charleston related to the railroad crossing elimination grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6, a resolution authorizing the City of North Charleston to accept the South Carolina Opioid Recovery Fund grant in the amount of $49,578.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, somebody saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 7, a resolution authorizing the City of North Charleston to accept the South Carolina Department of Public Safety fiscal year 26 in-car video camera grant award.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, somebody saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 8, a resolution authorizing the City of North Charleston to accept the Green Infrastructure Center and South Carolina Forestry Commission's Tree for SC Technical Assistance Grant.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 9, a resolution authorizing the City of North Charleston to accept the Norfolk Southern Thriving Communities Grant Award.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion?
Got one.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want to slow it down, but Ms. Helen, I spoke to Ms. Helen, and I spoke to, Councilman Nefertiti Brown about it. They're in the Bennett Yard Road area. The trains back there really have caused a lot of damage. And we know that, you guys have dealt with this before in the other administration. There's a letter that's being circulated, and I'm asking Ms. Helen to have, I think that's Green Pond. I think that's what. Green Grove. They wrote a letter to the, railroad people, folks. I think we need to do the same thing. Just, support it, because the couplings come together when the trains come together. And it's actually caused a lot of damage to a lot of elderly people property. I think as a city, we need to stand up, with the community to get that done. I just wanna say that. So me and FT spoke about it, and we think we should support, so I'll gather something together, have all our names on it.
Okay. Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, somebody saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 10, a resolution authorizing the city of North Charleston to accept the 2025 Port Security Grant Program for $101,472.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 11, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement with Trident Construction LLC, North Charleston, South Carolina, for design build services to construct a community center, Russelldale Park, and Highland Terrace Park as part of the mitigation efforts related to the I-526 improvement project in the amount not to exceed $15 million.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I do wanna say that this 15 million will be repaid back from South Carolina DOT as part of the remediation efforts, so it's not, basically we're fronting the money, but we'll get the money back, and I think that needs to be noted for the record. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 12, a resolution accepting the letter of credit to ensure the construction of private roads known as Pomfret Street and Sawpit Circle in the parks at River's Edge, Phase 3 in Council District 1.
Move for approval.
Second for discussion.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Yes, ma'am.
So in this letter of credit, do we also have our lighting and our sidewalks and everything put in this?
I haven't seen the letter of credit, but typically they are private roads, so typically they would include lighting.
But can you have verification by council meeting? Cause I don't like probably.
I'll get that signed.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Before we close the meeting, I do want to commend the mayor and the staff. If you paid attention tonight, I mean, the number of grants that we're receiving, 5 of them.
Yes.
That's significant. So having those additional, having those additional assets have definitely paid off for the city. So I commend both of you ladies, and your work is very much appreciated, so. I didn't know you were writing that down.
Are they commission based?
No. Is there anything else to come before the finance committee? Hearing nothing, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna begin the call of order to the City of North Charleston Committee of the Whole meeting, October 16, 2025. Minutes from September 18, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we have short-term rental permit update. Ms. Eileen Duffy will present, and her backup unit would be, former Major Nathan. And I think we have a speaker, Mr. Nathan Del Pino, okay.
Good evening. As you'll recall, last month's meeting, Mr. M asked for an update on where we were with short-term rental permitting. In your packet, you will have seen the numbers. Currently, 3 of the districts, 5, 8, and 10 are capped. Or there are more permits issued than the 60 that are available, so we are not able to issue additional permits in those districts except for room rentals within owner-occupied dwellings. District 6 is at 57 permits, and we have 3 applications in, so it will soon be capped with no more permits being issued. The other districts are fairly low. The permitting is going somewhat smoothly. We have 57 applications on waiting lists in council districts 5, 8, and 10. And you can see the individual numbers in your packet. There are some issues. We've been approached by some property owners, such as should dwelling units on commercially zoned properties be exempted from the permit requirement. That's one that we've gotten from a couple of folks. We possibly looking at multifamily units as well. There's been some question about maybe looking at the transfer fee again, and so room rentals. We may need some more definition within our ordinance. So that's generally where we are. Those are some of the issues we're seeing.
Do we know how? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's your
turn.
Yeah,
It's my turn now.
Yes, sure.
Yes, I acknowledge the humble, District 2.
You all shook up.
I want one off.
Do you know how many commercial units we have that currently have STRs?
Commercially zoned properties.
Yes.
I unfortunately I just realized I did the wrong query. I can get that information for you. I know that we have 8 permits that are classified as being in commercial buildings. Commercial zoning might be different, so I will get that exact number and get back to you. But it's fairly low. There's not a whole lot of units in the mix.
So when it comes to the commercial buildings, we don't have any guidelines as far as STRs.
So if the unit that's going to be used as an STR was originally permitted as a dwelling unit, then they have to come in and get an STR permit. If it's a commercially built property like a hotel, they already are under commercial plans review, so they don't have to come back through an STR permit. So it has to do with like method of construction more than anything else. So if it was built as an apartment, a long-term apartment, they need to get an STR permit. If it's a commercial building that was built as, say, a hotel, it does not require an STR permit.
Okay, so the reason this came about was I was approached, one of our businesses has STRs on the top floor of their commercial unit.
Mr. Lupino's here, I
Yes,
think he's gonna
he is.
discuss that with you in just a moment.
And he's the one that approached me about it, and it made a lot of sense, because he said if he sold his building, they couldn't do the STR. They can't be grandfathered in.
Right, because currently they were built as apartments under that code, and so they have he has STR permits for those units, but when the cap went in place, those units are in Council District 8, I believe, 8 or 10.
5.
You're on East Montague,
It's
right?
It's Montague, that's 10,
Oh, it's
yeah.
out.
So
Oh, I thought you said, Chris said it was his.
So they're on East Montague.
Okay.
So they're in a district that is currently very much above that 60 units. So we can, if his units currently, as the ordinance reads, if his units are sold, then those permits are void. So if we wanted to, if the council is minded to change that to an exemption for a mixed use building or a commercial building, or there's ways we could write that, but that's something that needs to be changed to allow that transfer. Currently, it would not be permitted.
I think that would only be fair since he's got them already, in my opinion.
Yes, we discussed that earlier.
Yeah.
And one other thing to bring up is, I know that these, from my understanding, we're talking as well, that I think some of these properties were actually built for that specific purpose. And when the cap came into place, that what it does, if you can't transfer that STR permit, that whole structure now, the value of it has been reduced. If if you can't transfer that over, or let's say the building is basically set up for STRs and commercial. So I think they kind of fall in a gray area where that would be, in my case, it seemed like it would be, a no-brainer to allow this individual to maintain what he currently has, because he is quite the exception. I've yet to see anything else that kind of falls on that same area. He was following the rules, and then all of a sudden we have this STR cap, and now his property value decreases because he can't transfer that permit, but it's also built for STRs, not for, extra commercial property on top.
Just to push back slightly, to get a STR permit, you first have to have a dwelling unit that has a CO. So he has dwelling units, they're not, we haven't taken all value, just it may not be able to be used as STRs.
Right. Okay, yeah, we're tracking, maybe I didn't rephrase that enough, but yeah.
That the overlay that the last administration worked on the River Avenue with the LCRT, right? So what would happen there? Because the whole mindset is to build closer to the roadway, right?
Right.
For the overlay district. So what can be done there or what cannot be done there?
So in STR permits can be issued to dwelling units that are not in council districts that are capped. It's not specific to the LCRT in any manner. Obviously parts of rivers fall into, I'd have to look at a council map, I'm sorry, I don't have it in my head like I used to.
6.
So, there are areas that they may not be currently allowed, based on if they're individually built. Now, we do still have an exemption if you have a apartment complex that's 10 units or more, or rental complex that's 10 units or more, or you have hotel permit, you can get STR. Well, you don't have to get an STR permit for renting some of the, so if you say you have 100 apartments, you could lease 10 of those STR. As long as you have a business license for the rental complex, you are exempt from the permit requirement.
Well, but the whole goal of LCRT is not to put STRs, down that corridor. I mean, it defeats the whole purpose, so anyway, just a thought. Right.
What we were talking about earlier is when the businesses build on rivers, just like Barry with Barry Jewelers, for instance, he lives above his business. So they may want to live above their business, they may want to have an additional unit up there for when visitors come in or whatever. Because it's gonna be right close to Rivers Avenue and the rapid transit, so they don't have to drive to park their car to catch the bus kind of deal is what I was thinking. But I also think maybe with, like Mr. Delfino, maybe let it be as a one on case basis that they come before planning and zoning to state their case. And it's either approved or denied, but they have the option to state their case.
Yeah, I guess the question, Eileen, like you don't have the answer to it right now, it's just gonna do some research and figure out just where we are in STR with B2s, the numbers that's out there.
Yeah, there are not many of them. I mean, it's basically the ones on East Montague. There are at least 5 there that I can think of, but I can check that zoning. The problem with saying commercial zoning is CRD is a commercial zoning, right? And we have Lake Palmetto townhomes over here, and they're all CRD. So if we exempt CRD from, or commercial zoning blanketly from the permit requirement, it could have some unintended consequences for, like that neighborhood there. So I think we'll just have to figure out some nuance in how we look at that.
And I guess we wanna be fair across the board because as much as we possibly can. Cause I think I can remember just when we put a cap on it, there was a young man, he had a wife and a kid and they wanted to move out and was in permit, and what he was gonna do is transfer the permit over to where he was because he was in the point of application. And I think we said no, they're gonna go with there, so. And his point was pretty much the same, is that he will lose out on the economic aspect if he couldn't do that. And I know all of it's really boils down to the economic aspect. You think when he's gonna transfer it over and sell it, here I have something to pick up a little bit more leverage with the short-term rental. So we're saying thought is what gives the right to do it for B2 and not to do it for the R1s? Those are the questions that we gotta really weigh and figure out.
Anything else, Tom?
I'm sorry?
Anything else?
Nothing to add.
Anybody else have any questions for Eileen? Brandon?
I mean, I guess I'm jumping to another item, but I think, first of all, we've talked a million times, so I'm beating a dead horse with you, but I agree. I really think that you're talking about such a limited use case with B1 and B2, given, we want to encourage this vertical type of growth, right, as we move forward. So I think providing an opportunity for people, even in the short term, to they build it, they make the investment, they leverage that as an STR, and then as the market shift, it transitions to a livable housing unit that, there's an apartment on Sproul Avenue. Next to there's like a little chicken place, and the guy, it's like a little space, they converted it into a apartment, and their waiter lives next door, right? So the more opportunities like that we can, thinking long term, right? Like anytime you can jam a unit of housing above a place where people work, like eventually that has the opportunity to be the ultimate housing. So I'm for anything that encourages that.
Sounds like he's got the best commute ever.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, the food's terrible, but the I'm just kidding. I just heard Cameron, hey, the food's good. No, definitely there. No, but I guess, I'm sorry, did we jump, are we just grabbing these units, or are you running through these items, or are you running through them?
I'm done unless you have a specific question.
Okay, well, I was gonna throw a little bit more out there, kind of under this room rental thing, but, and again, we talked about this, and maybe taking this to our STR committee is probably the right way to make this, put some stuff together, which I know need to rebuild that committee now. Mayor, like a couple of folks no longer with us. But something that I personally have seen folks ask me about or deal with is, you're talking about a unit, an STR that's on your property, but it's not necessarily within your house. And does that count? Right now, you have to have a permit for that, right? Like that counts as a permitted unit. But I think there's a lot, like, for me, if I had a unit behind my house, I can look out my window, and how's that? That's really no different to me than somebody, so I'm gonna be able to control just as well. So I think maybe we could look at making those exempt from the cap as well. Again, I think that's probably a very small sample size, but anything, again, that encourages people maybe to build that ADU in their backyard, maybe convert that pool house into a living space. That's infill density that it's maybe already there. So I gotta make my pitch. That's all I have to say.
Last thing is that if you open up the B2 or STRs as commercial, I would just recommend that we have some type of, I would say restriction or boundaries for that. It's free for all that. It's just my 2 cents that if we do that, we probably need to figure out some type of limitation, maybe a cap on that, or something to kind of regulate. That's all I have.
Yeah, everything that, Brandon, you're right, we have 2 openings on that committee. So we'll actually, assign 2 of the council folks to replace those. But, when, Councilman Skipper talked about the LCRT, we have to keep in mind, when we did the reality check, so at the Coliseum, when you go over there, they gave us, and all the mayors were there, they looked at the Low Country Rapid Transit line. It's 20 point something miles of this is coming through City of North Charleston. when they did it, that's what I'm talking about, you know, businesses and residential. Because their whole mindset was that one Lego signifies 650 people. When you bring people, businesses come. So from what they're telling me, they're looking at that corridor eventually growing up to 50-something thousand, maybe more people in that corridor. So we're gonna have to get with the program as a city to be able to handle that. And we have to probably look at new and innovative ways to get things done. You know, you go to all your major cities, maybe it's not in South Carolina, but most of your major cities are built with rail, bicycle, walking paths, residential, and, well, shops to the bottom, residential to the top. If you look at those townhomes that are built in West Montague, right in front of the Coliseum, why did that happen? Because Boeing did a survey. And that survey said people would like to live near where they work at. City of North Charleston, we've got to get with the program. Because our number one revenue stream to run this city is property taxes. You know, that's the number one revenue. And we want people to come and live in here. We don't have a problem with you playing here. We don't have a problem with you shopping here. We want all that, but we want you to invest your life in the city. If we don't have the places for people to actually invest in living, they'll go someplace else. So being the mayor, I'm looking at the number one priority is the people. If they want to come and live here, we have to find places to place them. So we're gonna have to start rethinking things. How we zone things, how it's B1, B2, to work on some things. And I know that you have.
I have good news for you.
I'm serious. We have to think like that. We really do. We're the economic engine. We're the only city in the world that has Boeing. Boeing, we're about to have a new groundbreaking. With all the top senators and the representatives in this nation will be here. Things are changing for North Charleston. Mercedes is doing a new groundbreaking. You know, we must seize this moment as a city that everybody said wasn't gonna be anything. We go ahead and turn that around, but we gotta keep moving forward. Do it responsibly, like Ms. Tisdale said. But if the folks want to come here and they wanna live where they work, I think we should oblige them, to a point. Thank you, Ms. Alvin.
Still the speakers to speak.
Yeah, oh, Mr. Delpino.
Thank you,
I
Ali.
took all your time, I'm sorry.
Nathan Delpino. I'd just like to thank council for the consideration of the issue this evening. North Charleston's a beautiful community. It's vibrant, it continues to grow. You all know that, we're all here. Many of us are here because it's a great place to live, to work, to raise a family, to play, to enjoy. We're here because we want to continue for it to be vibrant, continue for it to be balanced, and continue to offer some of the qualities, reflect the interests of the citizens and businesses alike. I've been a part of North Charleston community since 2010. When I started building my construction company, we focused in North Charleston, we built affordable homes. That's how I got started. So it's 15 years later, we're still building homes in the area, but that was my area, that was my primary focus. I wanted to introduce citizens to the beauty of North Charleston and share with others how special this part of Charleston was, the Tri-County area. And it's continued to do that, it's continued to just grow and folks are discovering it. But it didn't happen overnight. The businesses, the restaurants, the stores, the vibrant community that we all love, didn't happen by accident either. There was a lot of work, and there was double the risk for the property owners and the businesses. But through the attention to details, guidance from council, guidance from leadership, North Charleston's become what we know, what we all love today. Talking about Boeing, it's incredible what it's done. The fact that it's continuing to do that, it's just an amazing story. And the affordable and the central location that Charleston has and the hub that it has become, that it always has been, but it's really truly become, it's the real story of Charleston. I would tell that to folks too. It really is. And I think that's why so many folks have been attracted to here from the beginning. I do have my office. I've been, right there on Montague. It's one of the reasons why I was wanted to just kind of bring this up, because we did have the apartments up, and with the commercial down, apartments up, whether they're for long-term or short-term rental, I think that vertical integration to the development that's gonna occur, I think it just is going to be the pathway to just make North Charleston kind of like continue growing in the direction. So the things that we're hearing, I think, are just right in line with everything. It's refreshing. It's great to hear. And I want to just ensure that everything that we're here because the community wants to ensure that we get this right. Consider the right balance to maintain the interests of the citizens and businesses alike. And how do we do that to continue to attract visitors, residents, businesses, and in the way that we've done in the past? How do short-term rentals enhance the community? Do they help to share the beauty of the community with visitors? What areas are they best located in? Some of the questions that we're talking about. I know that you guys talk about regularly. Do they help local restaurants? Do they help storefronts? Do they offer upward mobility for property owners and businesses? With the right oversight, can they enhance the community, help share the beauty with visitors, and create value? Where is the balance that allows businesses to grow, serve the community and its residents, and also maintain stability of the neighborhoods? I think that's a really key factor in everything. While continuing to share this natural beauty of North Charleston. The community is a truly special place, and it's comprised of such a variety of interests that attract so many. To be able to live, work, and play so citizens and businesses can thrive together. Which hearing that in here, I know that that's definitely the goal for everybody. And we all have a vested interest, and we're concerned about doing the best we can for the city. And thank council for its consideration and leadership and helping foster that growth as we enhance the elements so that we can continue to share North Charleston's beauty and community with each other and everyone that's fortunate enough to discover it. Definitely thank everyone here for their consideration this evening. Having the building on Montague with it was specifically built 2020, I bought it in 2019. Specifically built to have those short-term rentals up there. Obviously, a lot of things have changed with that, but that's the way it was set up, so we did it that way. Now, if we convey it, we can't do that, and being in the business district, it's one of those scenarios that we've got loud music from the restaurants and establishments near there. You're got cars going by regularly, so it's kind of part of being in those areas. So just really appreciate the consideration from everybody. Thank you guys. Everything tonight.
Thank you, sir. I think that covers everything. Everybody, especially the community, you guys are seeing us trying to work around what we're trying to do as a council and the mayor. We actually had a real good training the other day, real good training. And the Municipal Association of South Carolina, they really help lead and guide cities and counties and towns on how you actually work through issues individually in meetings. Some of the things I did not know. I've been coming to council meetings since Mayor Bourne. Some of the things I just simply didn't know. I learned a whole lot. And I really believe that as a council and the mayor, we got a lot out of it. We really did. We got a lot out of it. We asked questions. We dove into it. Even Stephanie had to do some things out again with Paisley, but she called in and had some good questions because she was listening and she kept up. So it just really shows you that we are dedicated to the service of people. And we're gonna continue to work this way, because when we work this way, a lot gets done. This gavel starts the meeting, people, and this gavel can end the meeting. I don't wanna hit the gavel to end the meeting until all work is done. So we will continue to go down this path and share good ideas and good plans, so we can represent the people in a fair manner. I just came back from Bremen, Germany. Was there for 7 days. My whole mission, they asked me to come there. I went there because they want the city of North Charleston to be a sister city. Bremen, Germany is probably 50 miles from Hamburg, Germany. Bremen, Germany, is familiar with North Charleston because it's built like North Charleston. If you wanna know where all the Mercedes and BMWs and Volvos and all those Volkswagens are built and shipped, is there. Their port is bigger than Alwando, any port I've ever seen. That's where all the shippings of all the Mercedes and Volkswagens and BMWs leave there to go out to the world. I was impressed. They also have, that's similar to us. We have the Hugh Leatherman terminal and West Vaco will be a terminal as well. So that's similar. Then they have the structure of having to build cars. We build Mercedes-Benz cars in our city. And also they're having issues with, housing issues, poverty. They have issues with mental issues as well. So it was good to be in a city that actually mimics our city with a 600-something thousand population. We have 120, 130, but they wanted us to be a sister city because our city emulates what they are doing. You had other mayors from Tacoma, Washington, you had them from Kansas City, you had them from Los Angeles, you had them from Tennessee, you had them from Pennsylvania, you had about probably 18 to 20. But I was brought there to actually sign a letter of intent as a sister city with Bremen. The only city that Bremen has in the United States that they want us to be a part of. We're going to share ideals. They have a mayor. His name is Andreas Bevan Schulte. And he actually is a mayor and he is a governor. They have city states. So he showed me around. I spent most of my time with him and we had an awesome time. But being there, I really understand that if you listen to history and read your history like I do, I love history. Germany is not like it's reported in history books. It's not. They're hardworking, God-fearing people just like we are. They are doing everything they can to continue to grow as a city. And I'm really proud that they want us to be a part. Now the internship, basic stuff, it's not set in stone until we get some stuff done. But once we get everything done, I'll make sure I share with all of you all. And then we'll start to set emotions, things that we would share with them and things they would share with us. But it was a great time over there. I really appreciate it. I ate more potatoes. I don't drink beer, so I mean, I ain't that, so you know that. But I ate more potatoes and duck than I've done in many, many years. But it's awesome over there. And their city hall, it's, let's imagine the city hall parking lot. They have older, because Germany was like built in the 1400s, 1500s. They have a lot of old Gothic style buildings, and that would be their center out in the parking lot, and everything else is surrounding it. But what I saw there touched me. You had protesters uplifting Ukraine. 10 football field yards away, they were pro-Russian protesters. 10 yards away. Never a squabble, never a beef, never any negative thing said to one another. They practice nonviolent protest. I was impressed. I watched them every day. When they were done by 6:30, they packed up all their flags and they walked their separate directions. And being a cop too, I didn't smell any marijuana in that. Y'all get my drift. But anyway, I just wanted to tell y'all that's what I did. And after we get more counsel, we got a pen here for all y'all. It's a German and American pen.
We can't wear the pen unless we go.
Well,
Mayor.
we'll work it out. I went for you. I took it for the team. I took it.
It's outside and you travel.
Yeah, so.
He told me about the blonde hair and blue-eyed girls.
Yeah, there's a lot of blonde hair, blue girl.
I know, that's why I wanna go.
Ronnie would fit right in.
I'm just gray now.
Yeah, it was a good day. They have a lot of bicycling, a lot of walking. They have the electric trains. They have the bus rapid transit system, but but their buses, all their buses are either 2 or 3. They do a lot of walking there and a lot of bike riding. They have more paths than I've ever seen in my whole life. And they that's what they do, how they get around. They have cars too, but every car around there is either BMW or Mercedes. Even the buses, even the taxis. So you ride and stop. But hey, I had a good time. But I just want to thank you all, especially the mayor's office, for supporting me and handling everything while I was gone. And I try to represent the city in the right manner. And I told them that I'm here to learn from Bremen. Now Bremen's gonna come eventually and learn from North Charleston. And we'll have that sister city tie. Anything else to come before?
Mayor, I have one item from the state. I just received a phone call from Mr. Tim Henderson, just to make everybody aware. David and I had a conference call with him on Wednesday. This Saturday, those you know that on I-26, Eagle Drive, the bridge was hit here a couple weeks ago. This Saturday going to be demolishing part of that bridge, and it's going to start Saturday night around 10 o'clock. So going westbound, eastbound will still be open. So going westbound itself, all the traffic will be diverted off of I-26 onto Aviation to Rivers Avenue. Dave and I have already worked with our police. They're gonna be working with state troopers to help keep the traffic flowing, but they're hoping to have what they need to do, part of the demolishment, to have it completed by 8 o'clock Sunday morning. So that's taking place. And the wreck itself was about a month ago. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago, yeah. We had a vehicle that picked up some cargo off one of the crews from the port, and the height was too wouldn't fit up underneath there.
Driver didn't know how to read.
Yeah.
Project gonna start again?
They're gonna start Saturday night. They're gonna start mobilizing around 10 o'clock, and they should be starting the demolition around 11.
It's the I-26 westbound.
I-26 westbound. So all the traffic will be diverted to Rivers Avenue, and then Rivers Avenue you can get back on it as you
I think that's my bedtime. I don't want to.
They got a flyer that we can put out.
Well, they supposed to be, and that's why I just got off the phone with Director Henderson. So I'm gonna get Tony to get up with them tomorrow and things that it should have already been on the news.
It's been out there. I mean, I've seen it on social media, but we need to have a better.
We already put it on social. So it's already on social.
Yes,
But it's not a real clear.
Not real clear.
Yeah.
If they can send us an email, then we can get it out to the people that need
Yeah,
it.
we get it email.
Not everybody watches the news,
Yes.
and they definitely don't read the newspaper.
Long down, all the way down to University Boulevard, get back on.
Maybe you don't ask your false way. Yeah, you get back on that shit.
All right, good people, good people. The last thing I'll say before I hit this gavel is if you look at in Chairman Skipper's area, you will see number 2, it's ordinance we actually passed. That's gonna pay us $36,000 a month for parking, which Boeing needs. So that's gonna be money into our coffers. That's $36,000 a month that they're gonna park, and most of it are their employees. They need the parking spaces till they start doing, till they get the infrastructure up. So that's $36,000 a month that the city's gonna help us out. That's how you work with the company. You work with them. So I think that was a really good job. Okay, no other business before the body? Hearing none, this meeting